I'm joined by David Tanner, the team manager for the British team. David, we came third in the medal table, 3 gold medals and a silver medal. A pretty good World Championships.
Very good indeed, Gary, especially for our women's team. 2 golds and a silver. Women's team is really doing well. Our famous 4 also struck gold. Pretty tight and tough race, but they showed what professionals they are. So at the top of the tree, we're really happy with our results.
There's been very tight racing here, and unfortunately we've been on the wrong end of some results. The women's 8 and the men's 8 didn't quite get to the finals. Where do they go from here?
They've got to raise their game. We've just seen the men's 8 final here, very, very tight across the whole field, and we're just in it. But when the critical race came, the men's 8 didn't quite make it. They're a key Olympic boat, and we've got to work at it this winter. We'll be there next year.
We're 2 years out from Sydney now, 2 years to go. We're in a 4-year Olympic programme. How do we move the British team from third in the medal tables up until top, that all-important first place?
Oh, first thing is to keep the success we've had. Don't underestimate that 3 of those 4 medals were in the Olympic events, and we focused all our best talents in those events. We've had big progress in our lightweight men. For the first time, for 5 years, we've had our lightweight 4 in the final at an Olympic event. We'll be working at lesser medals to make sure that for Sydney we're right there.
Martin Cross, you've been sitting beside me this weekend on the racing. From the athlete's point of view, from our point of view, what do you think the athletes will take away from this World Championships?
Well, I think first of all, everyone's going to be very heartened by the fantastic step up the women have made. I think the effect on the whole team will be tremendous. But really, this is just a staging post on the way for Sydney. All these athletes have got their goal of the 2000 Olympics in Sydney. And you mentioned earlier about the men's 8 and the women's 8. In particular, I think both of those have got to raise their game in the way that they have to start to race. Have to really forget about the technique, forget about the nice rowing. That's all done in training. We've seen crews here being successful. They've gone out blood and guts like the American 8. And I think a little bit of that ingredient needs to go into the British athletes' preparations for the Sydney Olympics.
We've been quite impressed with Greg Searle in the single scull at this World Championships. He came 3rd last year, but 5th this year. Again, his prospects over the next couple of years up to Sydney?
Well, I think Greg has had a fantastic 2 years. Brother of Johnny Searle, and really the tradition that the Searles have carried on of coming right good at the end of the season, he's maintained. I think what's be important for Greg is to work with Harry Mahon on his technique to try and get more consistent over the season. He hasn't had a very good season this year. This has been his best result. He needs to produce more consistency. He needs to get up in the medals early in the season if he's going to challenge for Olympic honours.
And just finally, what has been the British performance for you of this regatta?
I think the British performance for me of this regatta was seeing the women's double scull, Miriam Batten and Gillian Lindsay, just out in front, storming first 500 metres. I couldn't believe the determination with which they took it off. We've got another star in the British team, and I think that's great for British rowing.
Excellent.